Let me show you how to design a header like this for the website. I will be using only the HTML and CSS, pure HTML and CSS to do this. Here is the thing that I have done. Here is the website that we are going to work where I have done nothing yet. The icons that I'm going to use, the icons that you are seeing are not from Font Awesome. Font Awesome icons are nice, but you have to pay for good icons. In case of Google material icons, you do not have to pay, and they have a huge collection of icons. We are going with the material icons, that is Google Fonts. Here within my VS Code, that is the editor which I am going to use, I have the HTML file where I have linked the CSS file also. This is the link to the Google Fonts and Google icons. That's all. Now within the head, after the head, we have the body. Now within the body, we have to create the header. I am going to give it a class name of the similar name. Within the header, we have to create three sections. Since we have three elements over here, this is the 1, 2, 3. Also, if I scale down this page, you can see it is responsive as well. That is the purpose of doing this tutorial. Whatever page or website that you are making, it must be responsive. It should open nicely on the small screens as well. Within the HTML file, I have created the header. Within the header, I have to add three sections. I am now going to use those divs. Divs are gone. Semantically, they are not right. Left. The next section's name should be center. Also, bear with me, since I am using the inbuilt mic of my Mac, the keyboard sounds will be giving some distractions. Not a problem, you should bear with them. The class name of this thing should be right. Now first I have to add the icons to this place. I have already copied the icons from Google for Google icons, material icons. We have to use two icons over there. I will copy them. These are the span elements within the HTML file. Here I have to paste them. I will save, and the live server is already running. You can install the live server on your VS Code. All you have to do is save the file and your browser will automatically update. You do not have to refresh the browser for that. Here is the thing. Two icons got added. Now after this we have to add the form. As you can see here, we have a form for the search. It has an icon. Instead of an icon, I am using an image, because within the Font Awesome, here the search icon, if I look for this icon is nice here, this one, but this is a pro icon. I have to pay for this. Not a good thing. Within the Google icons, material icons, here is the icon, but its handle is too large. So we have to use an image. I have already downloaded the image. I will be using that. Now within this center, we have to create a form. Within the form, not that, do not give any action since we are not adding the backend. We have to add an input for the search. Text type is fine. Now we have to add a placeholder. Search now should work. I'm not going to give it ID, names, and all those things. They are a later thing. Within the form itself, we have to add the image, not outside. Now to access the source, to access the folder of images that we have within the web folder, we have to press /. Now you have the access to all the folders. Within the img, here is the icon. I added this. I will give it a name. That's fine. No dimensions here, width and height. That should work. But we have to add one more icon. That icon is, here is the icon. This is the voice icon. I can copy from there, or I have already copied this icon. Here is the mic icon. Just copy this, paste it over here. Now we are done with the center section. Let's work on the right section. Within the right section, we have three icons first. Let me show you those three icons. These are the three icons. Just copy these. Icons are copied. Now we have to add the img tag, that is image. Access the source with a /. slash img. Here is the image that I'm going to use. Also give it a name, any name. Now give it a width because it's a huge image. I will go with the 34 pixels. Now we are very much done with the HTML of this page. We'll go here. Now you can see I have added all the elements. Now we have to work on the layout and styling. So within the CSS, first we have to remove the default margin padding given by the browser. I will set them to 0. This star, this asterisk is the universal selector. It selects everything within the browser if we are going this way. Also, we have to add one more line, that is box sizing. With the help of this line, we are going to remove the horizontal scroll bar at the bottom. That is a real problem. Box sizing, border box. That's enough. Now save it. Also, we have to access the body. We want to give the body width of whole view width, that is 100 VW. That makes sense. Now the height, 100 view height VH. These are the nice elements, not percent, px, those things. Now we have to access the header element that we have created. We have given it a class of header. Now what we want to do? We want to make it display flex. We can give it the width of 100 VW, but that is understood. It will take by default. If I go to the browser now, you can see things are getting layered out. Let me give it a width of 100%. Width 100 VW. What happens now? Nothing happened because we have to justify or distribute the content along the whole width. We will not add the width. I will just justify the content. That is space in between. Now you can see things are getting distributed nicely. What is the next step we have to do? We have to align the things in the center. So everything is aligned horizontally nicely. What is the next thing we have to do? We have to add some space at the top. Things are getting stuck at the top. Let's add the padding. At the top, how much padding should we have? 18 pixels should work. Left and right, 12 pixels. That makes sense. Now what we have to do? I think we are done with this part. Not we are going to add the shade as well. But now let's access the first element within the header. Within the header, the first element we can select this way also. What it should have. Now you can see these icons are stuck to each other. We have to give some space. For that, I'm going to add margin to the right side. How much? 24 pixels. Now you can see there is some space. That looks nice. Also, we want to give this icon some background color. I will go with light gray. Also, give it some padding. If I do not add the padding, let me show you what's happening here. It is selecting everything. Header's first child. No, we have to select the left's first child, like that. Let me give it some padding. Padding off. How much? I will go with 8 pixels. That's nice. Also, we want to make it round. For that purpose, we have to add border radius 99 pixels. A huge value will make it rounded. That's nice, I think. Now we have to work on the center part. CNTR. First, give it display flex. You can add as many flexes. There is no problem. Also, we have to align the items. Align items to the center. That's nice. Now we have to work on the input area, that search box. For that, we have the center. Within that, we have an input. This type work. Type text. This is also a selector. If you learn the CSS, you will come across this. Sometimes we use this. What we want to do? We want to give some padding to that box because it is looking very small now. A padding of we have to give it the padding so that this text, search text, now this gets displaced to the right side so that we can place this icon, the search icon over here nicely. For that, padding is going to work. At the top, I am going to add 12 pixel. To the right, 12 pixel works. At the bottom, 12 pixels okay. But to the right, I am going to give a huge value, 40 pixels. Now you can see there is a space. That space is enough. Also, this box should be rounded. For that, we are going to use border radius. I'm going to use a huge value. That's fine. Also, we want to remove that ugly border. Border should be none. Now we have to add some background color. That should be enough. That's nice. Now let's work on this icon. That icon is an image. To the parent element, that is the center, I am going to give it a position of relative, and to the image within the center we have an img, that's an image. What should it have? It should have a position of absolute. Now what happens now? Let's give left 10 pixels. What happens now? Something happened. Top 10 pixels. That's enough. Now we want to make it smaller. For that, we are going to use transform scale. How much? 0.7. That's nice. Now we want to give some space here, over here. This is struck to that icon. Since I have already selected this center input, not the whole center, but the box, we want to give it margin to the right side of 24 pixels. You can give any value, but that is fine. Now we are done with this section also. Now we have to work on the right section. Again, we have to make it display flex. Not needed, but let's do it. Now align the items in the center. That's fine. Now within the right, we have an image. This image should have a border radius of, let's give a huge value. Should have a border. It should have a border, a subtle nice border. 1 pixel dotted light color. That's okay. Let's see what happened now. Now it is rounded and small. Also, it should have a margin to the left, so it's not stuck to those icons. 24 pixels is nice. Also, those icons should have a space among them. What we are going to do, select the right. Within the right, every span element, yes, should have a margin to the left side of 24 pixels. That has worked. Now all these icons are looking very dark. Within the header, every icon that is a span element, its opacity should be 0.8. That has made some changes. Also, when we hover on these elements within the header, every span element, when we hover on this, when we mouse over on this, their color should become red like this. Now you can see the result is happening. Also, when we hover, they should scale up. They should become larger. For that, transform scale 1.2. Within the header, we are going to add another value, that is transition duration. We are going to add 500 milliseconds. Let's see what happens now. That's happening nicely. Also, we want to give that drop shadow at the bottom here, just like this. Here we have a subtle shadow, and that's giving a nice effect. So select the header again, give it box shadow, not box sizing, box shadow, 2 pixels in the x-axis, 2 pixels in the y-axis, a glow of 12 pixels. Now we have to give it color. I will change this color because this color is very dark. Pick a very subtle color. Yes, that's working now. Now we have to make it responsive. Now I will select all these elements. Instead of going here and there, I will just select them again. Dot left dot center. dot right. You can select them as many times. We have to give them the flex value, how much space they should take. 20% for this is enough. 20, not 60% for the center is enough. Flex. Why I'm using the flex? Flex is a value for three values: flex, shrink, grow, like those. Again, 20% means they are taking this much space within the header, these elements. Now, when I shrink, when you open this page on the small browser, only screen and max width, when you approach a width of, I will go for 600 pixels. What should happen? This header, its flex direction should become column instead of row, and this right, center, and left, no problem. They should, the flex of each should become 100%. The margin should become top and bottom. They should have margin of 16 pixels and auto to the left and right. Let's see what happens now. It's looking nice. You can see it is not at the right place. For that purpose, go and select the right again. I have already selected that. Justify the content to the flex end. That problem is solved. Now, if you hover on these icons, you can see they are scaling up, turning red. Also, if you scale down the window, you can see the responsiveness is also happening. That was the tutorial all about. Hope you learned something. Thank you. Have a great day.